Hi guys, this is Katja with Creators Image Studio. Today I thought I'd share a tip with you guys about frugality. So we have probably a lot of stuff, I know I have, and every time that I create a project, especially the larger ones like a mini album, I have a lot of leftovers and I always find it difficult to just throw them out, especially if there are some larger pieces. But today I thought I'd share like a small heap of scraps that I had left over, and there were only 2 or 3 somewhat larger pieces left and the rest were just strips of paper. And I thought I'd share a card with you guys that I created with that heap of scraps. Just to let you know that you don't have to throw everything out, except maybe 1 or 2 little scraps instead of the entire heap. Now, feel free to throw everything out that you like, of course. You do you. Me, I'd like to get the most out of my papers and I want to have the biggest paper real estate I can squeeze out of all of my scraps. So, the card that I created is this one. So I will let you see this up close. And the heap of scraps that I used is this. So these are the Lucky Dog papers by Graphic 45. And you can see that there are mostly strips of paper and I think 2 or 3 a bit larger ones. And that's it. So let's take a look up close and show you what I made with all of these scraps. So I am going to show you the scraps that I used and what I did to work frugally. So here the first layer, the base layer, consists of 3 pieces of paper. So you see the smaller one here on the top and here on the bottom. And then there is the somewhat broader middle piece here with all of the paw prints. So that was my base. So I did a bit of paper piecing there. I have a free video tutorial on that. I'm calling this technique a scrap mat. So check out my video how to create a scrap mat. Now I also use a lot of paper pieces to decorate. So you see a strip of paper here with all of the florals, with all of the colors here. So that is one strip. I used several other strips to do some die cutting. So you see a leaf here and also here underneath. And then there's a 4-layered flower. So from small to large, the largest one is the black one here. And then smaller and smaller, and then a piece of bling here. I also tied a small piece of ribbon around this strip of paper, tied it into a little bow, but then I thought, well, that's a bit too small. So I added in the end a larger bow right on top of that. These are stamped, well, not stamped, they are punched out stamps, that's what I meant. So these are scraps of paper as well, and then they have this nice stamp edge here, and well, here a small circular piece, and then I added a metal corner here. And I had this piece of chipboard left over as well from the same paper collection. And the last piece of die cutting, it's very subtle, but here in the corner we can see a little dog. Now this paper is dog themed, and that is with intention. Now I'm not going to open up this card now live on camera because I forgot that I had to film it when I wrote the card, and that is private, of course. So what I'm going to do is insert a picture of that inside now so I can show it to you anyway. So what you see here is one of the larger pieces that I had left over as a base. So that fit the card perfectly, and then I used one of the other larger pieces to die cut the 2 shapes in the top right corner. So that is a nested die set. So I did a larger one and then used the other side of the double-sided paper to do the smaller one and write my message. And then in the bottom left corner you can see a decorative piece by Prima Marketing that I found in my stash and that I thought matched the colors well. So that is a leftover piece as well, but from another collection. And closing the card, this is the back, and this is the third larger piece of paper that I had left over. So with 3 larger pieces of paper and a lot of scraps, I created a nicely decorated card. You do need some tools, like for instance I used a punch here and I used some die cuts here. That helps. But even if you don't have those, you could always draw some squares or rectangles and do like a mosaic with the squares. And that is very nice as well. I will insert a picture here of a card that I use that technique, so you can see the squares there, the 4 squares in the middle. That is a technique to do that as well, without die cuts. And that was my card. Alright, so I hope you liked the idea of this card. So this was all about using up your scraps, be a frugal crafter, and of course be inventive and be creative, because there's a lot you can do with the leftovers of your larger projects. So hope you enjoyed this tip, and I will see you next week. So press the like if you like this video, guys, and subscribe to my channel. It really helps my channel if you do that. Leave a comment below, tell me what you think, or if you have any questions, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.